Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Sports Talk with Broads. We are broadcasting live from the Manscaped Man Cave. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. The Lakers are up 1-0. It was a big-time blowout. The Heat clearly going through injuries. Jimmy Butler, Bam, Dragic. Definitely hurts the basketball team when you are going through those sort of injuries. But I've seen injuries happen in the NBA Finals before, and, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. LeBron had to battle through that. Last year, the Golden State Warriors, they literally fell apart, and the Raptors won the championship, and it happened. So, the Miami Heat are going to have to battle through this. They're going to have to find a way. Right now, at this moment, as I record, you don't really know what the future of these individuals are, but it's just something that happens in the NBA Finals. It sucks. You don't want it to happen. You want them to go out there and compete. As much as I'm a LeBronsman, all right, I am a LeBronsman. I want him to win his fourth. I'm here for a good series. I don't want it to be this way for 4 straight games or for 5 games. It's this way. I don't want it to be a complete blowout, and I don't expect it to be. This is one game. See, one of the funniest things to me when I watch the NBA Finals and when I watch certain playoff series, and it does seem to be specifically basketball compared to, say, hockey or any other sport like baseball that has a 7-game series. The conversations from game to game are so extreme. If the Lakers win this game, it's, the Lakers, they are just some dominating force. And if the Miami Heat win game 2, let's say, it's, hold on a second, Miami Heat, they have a chance. It's like one extreme to the next. They're up 1-0. If this game was a 3-point game or a 4-point game or a 25-point game, the series is 1-0. Now, it does seem like the Lakers have size, and that size is going to be a difference for Eric Spoelstra and what he puts out there on the court. The Heat can't go small. And then when you look at guys like Tyler Hero, who had a phenomenal game in the Boston Celtics series, he finishes minus 35 on this in this game because he can't defend. Defending is an issue. And if you're going to just allow LeBron to switch whoever he wants and get a switch on whoever, good luck. It's going to be an issue. It's going to be a problem. So I'm not saying the Miami Heat are dead in the water. Now, of course, at this moment, like I said, I don't have the injury updates for what's going to happen in Game 2 or moving forward or whatever the case may be. So that plays a role in how this series is going to go. This Miami Heat team, though, they're a tough core. And I tweeted this out before the game. You know when the Washington Nationals won the World Series last year? They weren't like the best team in the world, the most stacked team in the world, but the team was just right. They had the right flow. They had the right rhythm. Things were clicking perfectly. And heading into this series, I thought the same about the Miami Heat. You could even throw the Eagles' 2017 run in there. Everything just went smooth for them. You had the vibe. They had that championship-type vibe. Well, the Heat sort of had that flow heading into this series. That Jimmy Butler rolled ankle, though. Ooh, did that look bad. And same with the Bam shoulder. It doesn't look good. And even if they do go out there and they battle and they fight through it, sort of like Jimmy Butler did, they are not 100%. They are going through pain. But look, when you get to this part of the season, it's not just about who is the best team, who has the best players. What team is shooting better than the other? What team has size? It's about getting there. It's about getting through without being injured. And that's why when you just look at LeBron as a whole throughout all of his seasons and throughout his career, it's magnificent what he does. And when you talk about this game specifically, it's not like his numbers pop insanely. And think about having 25 points, 13 rebounds, 9 assists, and going, it's not like his numbers don't pop statistically. Because they don't. Really, it's not like he had this insane, dominating game, but his fingerprints are all over. The way that he facilitates the game, the way that he's so damn smart. He is the most intelligent basketball player I've ever seen. And it's a shame that people are out there and they don't appreciate what they are watching. If you are a fan of basketball, I don't see how you can hate what LeBron James does. Oh, I don't like him. Why? Oh, he's a baby. He whines. Stop. Everybody did. Everybody whines. Everybody once whined to the ref. Everyone complains. Michael Jordan complained. Everyone complains. If you are a fan of the sport of basketball, how you watch him play, and you go, I don't like him. How? Then you just might not like the sport of basketball. It's wild. And don't bring politics into this, because if you go to that extreme, then you're a loser. All right? You're a loser. That's the way I see it. Anthony Davis, 34, 9, and 5. There was a moment in this game, though, that I looked at the Lakers and I went, that could be a turning point. Because Miami came out hot. Miami was the one early, scoring points, getting a big lead. Lakers had to call timeout. It wasn't all pretty for the Lakers. There was a moment early in the game where Miami looked to be the better team. And if they continued down that path, there would have been no doubt that the Heat won. They probably would have blown them out if they kept that rate up. But KCP hit a couple threes that just allowed the Lakers to keep breathing. Allowed the Lakers to keep their head out of the water. And from that moment on, boom, the Lakers just dropped a bomb on them. They were shooting lights out from three. They finished 15 of 38. But there was a point they were just knocking down every three possible. Oh, you want to go zone, Miami? You want to play the zone? Fine. One pass, boom, three, Danny Green. And Danny Green actually had some three-pointers. How about that? Maybe working out of a slump. He was getting ripped on Twitter early in the game. Nothing like Twitter during the NBA Finals. Am I missing the atmosphere? Yeah, I am. I am missing the atmosphere. I had a tough time watching the Stanley Cup Finals because there was no crowd. Knowing that they were playing for the Stanley Cup Finals, like they were playing for the Stanley Cup, and it looked the same as the round-robin games, that's where it lost me a bit. And with this NBA Finals, knowing that when the Sixers returned and they played their 8 final games, the 8 final regular season games, that is, it looked exactly the same as the NBA Finals. I get it. But, there's a little bit lost. There's a little bit lost for me, but it's not taking enough away because I enjoyed last night, even though it was a big-time blowout. I saw a play at a LeBron James where he was going up. He missed the layup. Okay, grabs the board. There's 3 Miami Heat defenders on it. He puts it up again. He misses again. He grabs the board. There's 3 defenders on him. Out-muscling everyone. At 35 years old, gets fouled. Not only that, I see him on the defensive side of the court, diving on the ground for loose balls, getting on the court, getting dirty, doing whatever. He's 35 years old, and he's still doing it. And you can watch him and say, look, there's definitely some explosiveness that's no longer there. Okay, yeah, that is what happens. That's called human nature. That's called father's time. But guess what? He finds other ways to still utilize his skill sets. He taps into other parts of the game of basketball to help with that loss. It doesn't matter if he's not as explosive as he was at 24 years old. No shit, he's not going to be that same way. But the intelligence, it's all about how smart he is when it comes to this game. It's so unique, you don't see it. There's nobody even close when it comes to the smarts. And guess what? The smarts, it's very, very important. Look at Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid has all the talent in the world. He's got no basketball IQ. And that's the difference. Now, it's hard to really compare anybody to LeBron when it comes to being smart in the sport, but I'm just trying to lay you out a comparison here, and so you can see the difference of someone who has all the skills that they need. Someone who can control a basketball game. But they started the game so late that they don't properly understand it to the same degree as maybe others. And that's the difference in knowing the game and thinking that you know the game. And I'm not trying to rip Joel Embiid. It's not his fault that he got into the game so late, but there's just so much into this game. It's complex at times. And that's what I think he's missing. And that's why LeBron James is thriving at the age that he is. And how long are we going to talk about him still having it? We've been saying 5 years ago, it seems, that I don't know how much time he's got left. It's scary. Oh, it's scary. Speaking of scary, making money, making so much money you don't know what to do with yourself. Do you ever think that would be scary? We'll find out. If you utilize BetQL, you have all the analytics, all the trends, all the data that you need for sports betting to help give you an educated sports bet before you place your bet. Go to BetQL.com, use promo code BRODES20 at checkout, and you get your first payment 20% off. It's a no-brainer. Also, we are doing an NFL Weekly Pick'em Pool presented by BetQL, giving away weekly prizes and a grand prize, courtesy of Rosnov Jewelers, a championship bracelet. All the information is down below in the description. Dragic, I think that is killer. Really, I do. There were moments in the Celtics series where he's dropping 28 points. He's hitting big shots late in the fourth quarter. He's just your veteran professional guy who you can put the ball in his hands. You know what you're going to get out of him. Experienced. It comes down to being experienced, and that's one of my big things that I stand by when it comes to an NBA playoff run. Sure, you know what, Tyler Hero? He can have a 30-plus point performance, and people come at me, bro, look, he's young. He's not even 21. You said young players can't do anything. Yeah, there's a reason that made history. There's a reason why he was the first person to do that since Magic Johnson, and those two are like the only ones to do it. There is a reason why that is, because it's very uncommon. I think there's something to be said about having that veteran presence. There's something to be said about being a guy that has a ton of games under their belt, who have been in big moments before, and Dragic is a guy that the Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra, can rely on. And with this injury, you got to think that that is a major concern for this basketball team. I think he's an underrated player in this series, in their playoff run as a whole, on their roster. Oh, it's just Dragic. Yeah, but you know what? You need those type of players. It's not ironic to me that Jimmy Butler is 31 years old, and this is him getting the deepest he's ever been in a playoff run. He's always had the dog stuff, right? He's always had the dog mentality, but he's got a very unique style to him, and maybe it took him some time to learn how to utilize that style properly in a certain atmosphere in a locker room. You know, going up against the first teamers in Minnesota, saying screw you, whatever the case may be, that probably wasn't the best way to handle things. And I don't think it's ironic that he's 31, that Dragic is older, and those two are the guys. Now, Bam, younger player for sure, he's doing solid. But it wouldn't just happen with Bam. You need the mix of those older players as well. And that one is definitely going to be crushing. And just looking at this matchup, it favors the Lakers, and it obviously favored the Lakers even before Game 1. I just feel the size is going to be that brutal for Miami. They're going to have to be very unique with who they put out there on the court and what they do if they can't. Like, what if you try and go bigger? Going bigger gets abused. You can't continue to go down that road. Okay, well, now we need to go back to being small. How can you be effective if you are going small? By the way, I hate watching Iguodala. I can't stand him. I liked him. I liked his role. I liked him in Philadelphia, even though he got overpaid, grossly overpaid for his role. Or not really for his role, but he's not good enough for his role. It's different. Did he get paid the right amount of money to be the guy? Sure. He's not the guy. That's the problem. So the role wasn't the problem. It was the guy trying to fill the role that was the problem in Iguodala. Okay, he did what he did in Golden State. I get it. He's this veteran, solid role player that is important to teams. What he did with Memphis, though, this season, nah. Nope. It left a sour taste in my mouth. I can't root for that fraud. I can't. You just don't feel like playing for Memphis? Why? You didn't believe in them? You sat out? You wanted to get traded? Oh, you just wanted to go to a team like Miami? Get the hell out of here. You're a joke. I don't support it. I don't support it at all. It's interesting, though, when you think about this Lakers squad. You have LeBron, you have Anthony Davis. Who is their third piece? I just feel it's different every single night. And sometimes, though, It's not consistent enough, and that's where I think the Heat could strike. Once again, this is all based on what's going to happen with the injuries. But there is a spot for the Miami Heat to be able to attack and get what they want to get, and that's if LeBron and AD do what they do and nobody else steps up. I mentioned KCP hitting those three-pointers. And then after KCP hit those 2 threes that I thought were big, Danny Green started to knock down a couple threes. But what if they don't? Because there have been plenty of games where Danny Green has stunk, where KCP wasn't good, where Kyle Kuzma was embarrassing and getting destroyed left and right. So if those players don't step up and AD and LeBron just do what they normally do, is that an opportunity for the Miami Heat maybe to get some pressure, to score some points, and then from there kind of execute their game plan and win a basketball game? That is where I look at this and go, hold on a second, because it's not like this Lakers team is very reliable outside of the 2 guys that are at the top. They're not. You don't really know what you have in Kyle Kuzma, and that's a problem. Everybody seems to be on the same page that he's underwhelming. He's underperforming from maybe what the expectations were at one point in his career. Rondo, he is what he is, but hey, look, he's taking some threes. It's funny with him. He can't shoot, right? That was a big knock on him earlier in his career. This playoff run, it seems to be doing better than it ever has been, but he's known to be a guy who can't shoot. Right now, he's backing it up and supporting it by knocking them down. But in a playoff series, if teams are saying, Rondo, take that 3, and he takes it and it doesn't go in, you think like, damn, dude, that's what they want you to do, you know? It's a hard mix. You got to find the right balance of, hold on a second, he is actually shooting the 3 well, but at the same time, you're not a great 3-point shooter, and they want you to take those shots, so you're kind of giving the defense what they want. It's a weird spot to be in. But I love watching Rondo play at this point in his career. You know, he was at one time a pest, annoying, I hate the face. You couldn't stand him, but he's been a guy for a long time now in this league, and I got to respect the career. I got to respect the role that he's in, and I just think that this Lakers team after this game showed maybe they went down the road of, look, you can look at it 2 ways. They humbled Miami. You're not as good as you thought you were. This isn't going to cut it. This is the NBA Finals. This is LeBron James we were talking about, right? You can go down that road. Or you embarrass them so much that you woke up a beast. Yeah, you woke up a beast. Now, I'm not saying this beast that's just going to walk all over you in the next 4 games and then the Miami Heat are going to win in 5, but maybe that humble was so aggressive, it was just such an elite level that Miami Heat now reassess and focus way differently. If it's a 2-point game, a 3-point game, and the Miami Heat lose, yes, you're focused for game 2. Yes, you're dialed in at a high level, but now this wakes you up a bit more. That was embarrassing. It was a pathetic effort, and you got to be able to bounce back. You got to put that one behind you. It's 1-0. Like I said, it's 1-0. Who cares how much it was by? All that matters is this is the series. Plenty of opportunity left. I want to see what Jimmy Butler does in these moments. I want to see what these young guys do. Because you got a lot of production out of some younger players on Miami. We talk about how much they shoot the 3, right? It's electric. You can plug in anyone, Duncan Robinson, like you can plug in anybody. You can plug in me, and I'm going to be knocking down threes for the Miami Heat. It just seems to go that way. Well, now the moment's different. It's a tougher environment. The intensity has picked up insanely. I'm not saying the Celtics in an Eastern Conference Finals didn't give those players a tough series. Of course they did. But it's different. It's LeBron. Now, I wonder if anyone heard what Paul Pierce was saying about how people are afraid of LeBron these days. People in the league, kids coming up in the league, they're afraid of LeBron. And he was going, back in my day, no one was afraid of LeBron. Shut up, Paul Pierce. You're a fraud. Can't stand him. He's a joke. You want to talk about a horrendous analyst? Yeah, his name's Paul Pierce. Absolute moron. But with where I was going there, are people looking up at LeBron and scared of him? Doesn't that just come with being great? Like, is that LeBron's fault if that is the case? Or is that just the opponent's fault? How can you be mad at LeBron or hate LeBron if somebody comes up in the league who once watched him and once wanted to be him and he was their Michael Jordan, if you will? How can you be mad at LeBron if somebody else feels a certain way about LeBron? Then shame on you. You might have the wrong players. You need someone with an attitude of, hey, F off. Get out of here. Get out of my face. You want somebody like that on your team. Is Ben Simmons afraid of LeBron? No. Is Joel Embiid afraid of LeBron? No. No, I don't think so. They might look at him at a certain way, yeah, but that would be anybody. I don't think they are afraid. Are there individuals on the Miami Heat afraid of LeBron James? Just an interesting way to look at it. I'm just saying, Paul Pierce mentioned it, that kids in the league these days, they view him as this big guy, right? This Mount Rushmore type guy, and it might affect their play. You're telling me guys didn't feel that way about Michael Jordan? Now, that's where, the disconnect for me is so extreme. Because I feel people are so obsessed with Michael Jordan, they don't appreciate what LeBron is doing because they're so obsessed with, well, he's not Michael Jordan. He's not. Okay, so he's not Michael Jordan. He's been to the finals 10 times. He dominates the league. He's super entertaining. He's great. Why hate him? Because he's not one other person. It blows my mind. I can't support that logic whatsoever. You don't think people were afraid of Michael Jordan? And don't you think it's almost ironic that every time LeBron is talked about or Michael Jordan is talked about, they're tied together? Don't you think there's a reason why that is? Just saying. This episode of Sports Talk with Broads is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power, and with over 20 years of experience in the industry, they are home to your solar experts in both residential and commercial projects. They are dedicated to making sure your project is completed easily and properly by using high-quality materials and trained professionals to get the job done right. They provide water purification systems, backup energy services, battery storage, tree removals, electrical upgrades, and more. Make sure you check out their information. It's all down below in the description. I can't wait for Friday. I do want a better game. As much as I am rooting for the Lakers, I'm rooting for a good series as well. I don't really care who wins. I don't. It is interesting to think about this, though. If LeBron does lose, does it hurt his legacy even more for whatever that legacy means to people? Everybody interprets it a different way. Everybody has a different view on it. I don't knock people for getting to the NBA Finals and losing, because if they lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, well, it would have never been brought up. That series would have never been brought up. So I never, that's like making fun of Tom Brady or ripping Tom Brady for getting to the Super Bowl and losing to a Super Bowl. Just the fact that he continues to get to the Super Bowl is one of the most ridiculous things we've ever seen in sports. That's how I see it with LeBron. But I do think that this Lakers team should have enough. He's only been the favorite heading into a playoff NBA Finals run so many damn times. People act as if when LeBron goes to the finals, he's the favorite every year. No. Go do some research. This season, though, when it comes to the betting favorite, yes, the Lakers are. Big time. Miami Heat, huge underdog. So this maybe could put a bigger impact on his legacy than other losses in his career. I hate this, though. I already hear the conversation about whoever wins these titles, they don't matter. Not just basketball. Stanley Cup, World Series, Why? I'm giving everybody the respect they deserve if they win. If the Miami Heat won this thing, I'm going to not give them credit for it? Why? Of course I will. Because if the Sixers did, I'd be rooting for it, and I would be cheering and celebrating and going nuts. Whoever wins any of these pandemic championships, they mean the same to me. They have just as much impact as any other championship. To act as if this was easy or this wasn't hard, that's a joke. That's a personal issue, and you just don't comprehend what exactly they're going through outside of what they are doing on the court itself. So it goes a lot farther than just the court in terms of adversity. I can't wait. I can't wait for Friday. I want to see what the bounce back is like. I want to see how much fight the Miami Heat have in this thing. I'd be pretty disappointed if it just goes another game like this. If losing a big-time player is going to be the difference and then it's a big blowout, then the whole conversations come along. And it's unfortunate because we had that last year. You didn't get the full effect of an NBA Finals because, well, KD, Klay Thompson, you didn't really have that oomph with the finals last year, and that's happened a couple times. I mentioned LeBron James with Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. Like, it sucks. I don't want it. I don't want that type of stuff. I want everyone to be healthy, but that's part of being a championship team. It's not easy to go through this and come out healthy. It's not easy to play through injuries. It's hard. It's hard to do. That's why winning a championship is so hard to do. So there you have it. Lakers up 1-0. LeBron and AD carry the squad. LeBron diving on the ground, getting big boards, facilitating some of these passes. It's beautiful. Mwah! Mwah! It tastes so good. Love it. I just love watching it. It's poetry. What LeBron James does, it's poetry. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you next time.